Good evening. Hello. How we doing? It's Friday night. TGIF. Remember TGIF? We used to always enjoy that in the 90s. Thank God it's Friday, as we used to say. Don't want that to happen. Let's fix that. Okay. Mute that and whatnot. Yeah, we're live. Okay. Let's give it a few seconds before we begin. I think I should say right off the bat that I am not going to be addressing comments while I deliver my state of address. I will not be addressing comments. I will take a look at comments after I have finished reading my writings. That's right. I'm going to stay on track. We're not going to get distracted. We're going to stay tunnel focused. But before we begin, let's take a quick moment from the sponsor of the channel, RIOTstickers.com. That's right. You can see it right here. Check out this great shirt, RIOTstickers.com. Yar! If you need stickers, just go yar. RIOTstickers.com. If you go to RIOTstickers.com /Frumess, FRUMESS, link is down in the description. You can get 1,000 stickers for $79. That is a fantastic value, a fantastic deal. You will work with Sharpie, RIOT, CEO of RIOT Stickers himself, and he will guide you on your sticker journey as you figure out what you want to do. And you want to know something? He prints on way more than just stickers. He prints on t-shirts, banners, buttons, drum heads, banners. I said banners already. He made this beautiful banner right behind me. So you bring him your design. He will guide you through the process. He will make it look sexy. He'll print it on 3-inch by 3-inch vinyl stickers. So it makes them waterproof. And they got a UV coating that protects them from the sun. And you can get 1,000 of these beauties for $79. All you got to do is go to RIOTstickers.com /Frumess. That's FRUMESS. And you can take advantage of this deal. Again, for everybody who's just joining us, I will not be taking a look at the comments, okay, until afterwards. We want to stay on track. We all know how distracted I get. That's why I've got something written, because it's easier to stay on track. So that is what I plan to do, okay? And with that, we will be right back after this message from our sponsor. Uh-oh. There it is.
Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RIOTstickers.com. We are the bomb. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RIOTstickers.com. We are the bomb. We are the bomb. We are the bomb. We are the bomb.
How do I sound, by the way? Do I sound okay? My voice sound okay? I think so. Am I the right amount away from the thing? Okay. I don't know. All right. I don't know anything these days. I really don't. There's so much I don't know. A lot of this is just going to be me saying I don't know over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Let me just clean my glasses here. The glasses serve a purpose, believe it or not. I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory why I have the glasses on, but the glasses are quite necessary. Okay. They help a lot. Okay. All right. So, this is called The Ethics of Leaking the Misfits Drive Me and the Possibility of More to Come from the Manny Tapes. In many, many instances, my phone has blown up since these Misfits recordings leaked. I'm getting continuously asked about my thoughts in all of my inboxes, as well as text messages about Drive Me. It's like literally just the same thing over and over and over again. Do I have thoughts? Yes, I do have thoughts. And that's why I'm here, right? I've had others asking me if I have any more information. I mean, no, not really. I don't know. Judge for yourself. YouTube comments as well. In fact, it happened on my last Halloween live stream. We were focused on watching horror movies, 31 Days of Halloween. And people are saying, talk about the Drive Me, talk about Manny Tapes, blah, blah, blah. And so, I might as well just make a video, right? Like, I mean, that's what I do, right? It's probably going to happen in plenty of future live streams. So I'm just going to do a video about it. That is what I do, right? But as always, like always, we do have preamble, of course. Preamble is very important. Disclaimers, preambles, things like that. Just so that we have a good sense of expectations. How about that? That's what we want. This is about expectations. As my mic starts to fall down, I really need to get a proper podcasting mic. Yeah. So here are some disclaimers and tempering of expectations along the way. Before we begin, this is a rant of my own personal opinion. Okay, I'm a dude on the internet. If you don't like it, then don't watch. I'm sick of complainers, and there is a million things to watch on YouTube. I owe no apologies. You can suck my spam can. Okay, that's the truth. For real, for real. Like, I posted a video the other month about my opinion about something, and I got fucking. I mean, I guess that's the freedom of the internet, right? I can post my opinion, and someone can have a problem with it, But like, that's like, you can't get upset at me for having an opinion, And so I have an opinion, and these are my personal opinions. Okay. I love that people get to hear and enjoy this song as well as Feline. I love to see the genuine excitement and joy. That part is awesome. Okay. I love that. I love people, like, their faces are melting off. They're just enjoying the shit out of this. Like, that's awesome to me. But it's also so much more complex for me personally. And like always, multiple things can be true, right? And another important thing to say is that I've already done this, okay? I've already done an in-depth analysis of these songs. I did it 5 years ago. It was the first real thing that I did as whatever this thing is that I do on the internet, okay? If you go back and watch that video, as well as there's like an updated truncated version that takes the first like 3 or 4 streams and try to consolidate the info into like 1-2 hour thing. It's called like the Lost History of the Manny Tapes or whatever the fuck I called it. Listen to the songs and then listen to that commentary, because I am not going to play the songs here, okay? I'm not going to play the songs on here on this stream. They're already widely available now on the internet, and I don't need to get my video flagged by Uncle Glenn and his YouTube brigade, okay? So go listen to the songs, come back. You can hear them for yourself now. I don't have to play them again, so I'm not going to. Also, I don't know who leaked these songs or why they leaked it. And frankly, unless I was Glenn Danzig, Jerry Only, or Franche Coma, who could have and should have profited from this, and I suppose they still can, it's really inconsequential who actually leaked it. It's leaked. It's out there, right? It's out there. That's a moot point, Why was it leaked? And I think that question answers itself, but I will answer it. I'll elaborate on that a little bit more in a bit as I, go through this whole rigmarole here. Something that I do wonder, did whomever share this with the person who caused the leak trust that it wouldn't, or did they do so knowing that it would leak? Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? And how far down the chain of custody did that extend? Like, how many people got this stuff and then that decision was made? How many people were in possession before it leaked? I don't know. I don't actually know. I think I ruminate on this a little bit further down in my writings, but whatever. So with all of that said now, from an outside perspective, there was a time back in the summer of 2017 where it felt very possible for at least the Eddie show from October of 1977 to see an official release. It felt like all the stars were going to align in a way where Manny could possibly connect with Glenn and actually make a deal that would be agreeable. Because after all, the only way that this could really work is if Glenn agreed to it, as he would be the claimant most likely of the writing publishing, right? Or I would imagine so after the lawsuit. Who knows? Without Glenn signing off, though, not much could progress in the proper legal way that it would need to. So, you know, maybe that even presented its own roadblock. I don't know. The Drive Me that leaked comes from what was supposedly Franche Coma's first show, as mentioned on Misfits Central, as well as explained by Manny and even Frank, I think. And it was incredible that such recordings even existed in the first place, right? Like, that's incredible. These tapes had somehow, up to this point in 2017, these tapes had somehow remained intact for 40 years. Think about that for a second. Like, sit and actually ruminate on that. Not ruminate. Ruminate's the wrong word. Just percolate on that. 40 fucking years, man. It's incredible to think about, because so many things could have happened to those tapes along the way that they would have met their peril, right? And yet here they were, right? Never truly lost, but just dormant. And more importantly, they were unreleased. You know, they could have been thrown out or inflicted with mold or swept away in a flood or eaten by a rogue cassette deck during a simple playback session. The last of which, the rogue cassette deck during a simple playback session, is actually the reason why I chose to forfeit hearing even more than I initially did in 2017, when I went out to Doylestown, Pennsylvania to spend the afternoon interviewing Manny for a long gestating project. I didn't trust the tape deck that I had on hand. Manny had requested over the phone for me to bring one. The idea that my tape deck might eat the tape and destroy the sonic wonders on it was more horrifying to me than the aching curiosity that I felt to hear what was ever on that tape. I was like, how terrible would I feel if halfway through that this tape suddenly gets destroyed, just completely yeeted, because I so greedily needed to hear it that I used something that wasn't suitable for the task. It was a gamble that I chose not to take for the sake of preservation. And eventually, and fortunately, I did get to hear what was on those tapes too. But for many years, there was a piece of me that really regretted the amount of caution that I had took. But ultimately, I still think that it was the right decision at the time. It seems that Manny liked to record early practices and shows. That included the first show at CBGB, where they played 7-ish songs at like 2 a.m. for what was called a CBGB showcase, right? They like waited around, and then finally at like 2 o'clock in the morning, they got to play, something like that. Recording standards were way different back in the 1970s. No one was making records in their bedrooms yet, right? Today, oh shit, what the fuck? Oh my God, Jeff, you're so stupid. You are so stupid. You are so stupid. Remember who used to watch Remember Dexter's Laboratory? Omelette du fromage. Omelette du fromage. Oh, omelette du fromage. Okay. So hold on. Recording standards were different back in the 1970s. Nobody was making records in their bedrooms. Today, you could virtually run an entire recording studio out of your house. And there are some schmucks who like to talk unironically on social media about cutting and recording and tracking records when it's just them in their apartment on a shitty white MacBook from 2013, which is, you know, fine, I guess, in a sophomoric sort of way, but it's just kind of funny how yeah, man, I'm cutting a record today. It's just like, dude, you're just fucking recording in your house. That's great. You're making a record in your fucking bedroom. Cool, man. I'm cutting records, man. I'm tracking the instruments today, man. Yeah, I'm tracking. Just shut the fuck up. Just fucking say you're recording. But back in the 70s, here's the thing, though. Back in the 70s, if you wanted to lay something down, like really lay something down, you would have to book studio time and cut a demo, or you'd have to get a record deal with a label, right? Making a record with a tape deck was like a crude, simple means of just capturing the room. You know what that means, to capture the room? It means I'm putting a microphone and whatever's happening in the room, I'm capturing it, you know, and sometimes it can sound really cool and sometimes it might not sound cool at all. And you get all sorts of sound reflections. I'm about to sneeze in 1 second. Give me just, oh my God. Thank you. The capturing a room. Yeah, that can mean all sorts of things. Yeah, sound reflections in the room, yada, yada, yada. But, you know, if you just want to make a recording of the room as a document, as a reference, you know, a tape deck serves a utilitarian purpose at the time. And at the time for the Misfits, particularly Manny, and perhaps even the others, they wanted to review their performances in the same way that a football player reviews theirs after games. You know how like they got the cameras and they record and then they watch the games, the coach in the locker room, and the coach, you know, is chomping on a cigar and he's like, you should have turned here and instead you turned this way, you jabroni, what the fuck, you know, whatever, however that works. Then we're like the coach hat. Whose idea was it? Was it Manny's idea? Was it Jerry's idea? That's something to consider, right? Was it Jerry's idea to do this? Because he was the football player, right? He was the football player. Who knows if Lodi High School even had access to like a U-Matic or like a Sony Protopack or some other reel-to-reel VHS systems at their disposal, you know, because like Jerry would only think to do this if they did have that at their disposal. I don't know. I don't know. We'd have to ask Jerry. In the same way that Jerry's football paint, you know, under his eyes, you know how Jerry, he had like that, you know, he puts the black and then later he did red, right? You know, in the same way that Jerry puts football paint under his eyes, that made its way to the stage presentation. Perhaps this was another practice that he charged Manny with. Right? Maybe he was like, hey, Manny, can you record our performances so we can play them back? Or maybe it was just Manny who did it. Did Manny play football too? I don't know. I never asked him. Did not ask him. Why Manny? Like, why charge Manny with doing it? I don't know. Maybe Manny was the one who had a tape recorder. Maybe he owned the tape recorder. Maybe Jerry didn't have a tape recorder. Maybe Jerry gave him the tape. I don't fucking know, man. I don't actually know. I never asked Manny when he told me about this, because he did tell me about this, and he never elaborated on it further. As I mentioned above, in my very first internet broadcast on Facebook Live over 5 years ago, I spoke about my feelings as Manny played these recordings, like my feelings in real time. And it's worth restating here and now how profound it is that they even existed. Okay. Did Glenn or Jerry also have these recordings or other documentation of these songs, either in 2017 or earlier or before? I don't know. Given the information that I had at that time, it didn't feel wrong to rule out any other possibility. And that perhaps, if not for Manny and his tape recorder, these songs, their arrangements, and how they were performed and how the band sounded would be forever lost to time. And it still gives me goosebumps to think about that, to know that, to realize that. We all owe an extraordinary debt of gratitude to Manny as a result, I think. There's such frustration in hearing about something and not knowing what it could sound like. Like, you know, you're reading on Misfits Central, the year is like 2006, and you're looking through Mark Kennedy's timeline and you're seeing like, what? There's a song called Harpies in the Night. Oh my God. West End Avenue. What does that sound like? Oh my God. Feline Nursery. Like, and you're just sitting there going, and mind you, we know that because Mark did ask, whether it was Glenn or Jerry, whoever, he did ask them. He asked them and they were able to give him those little tidbits and he put them out there. Right. So it's kind of crazy to like think like you read about this stuff and then you're like, what does it sound like? I can't possibly imagine. And then it ends up exceeding all of your possible expectations, right? You actually get to hear it and you're like, wow, it's literally as fucking cool as I always imagined it would be. It's such an incredible feeling. And now many of you have experienced it as well after hearing Drive Me. That's friggin' great. But here's the other thing. There's like, and this is what happened to me when I was talking about like what it was like in that listening session in 2017. There's like this whole other level of emotion where you go into a situation expecting to hear songs you're already aware of, and then hearing songs that you had no idea even existed. The brain does not know how to process that in real time. As you are hearing them, it's an astounding experience. I turn and I'm like, what's that song called? What? That's not on my bingo card, Manny. You know, I didn't say that at the time. It's like, that's not, what is that song? It's Infant Stranger. What? What's this one called? That one's called Lullaby. What? You know, while Harpies in the Night, West End Avenue, and Feline Nursery, and later Marble Index were all known via Misfits Central. That last title, Marble Index, was only known via the forum. Other songs had no digital internet footprint at all, until my live stream in 2020. Songs like Drive Me, Infant Stranger, and Lullaby. Okay. And still even more songs that were on some of those other tapes. Border on the Waterfront, To Find the Wind Again. You know, although I wonder if those were really meant to be Misfit songs or if they were like even older songs that were introduced to the already gelling band, like they're gelling and they're rehearsing and they're finding their sound and their footing, and perhaps these older songs are being used for that process. I don't know. There's even an original version of Last Caress that's slower and arranged and written on piano and not guitar. Can you try to imagine that? Crazy. Who would have thought that Last Caress was a fucking piano song and not a fucking guitar song to start out with? It's also incredible to me that in all of the interviews Jerry has done over the years, excluding, again, whatever Mark Kennedy learned about the songs that were on Misfit Central, right? And all of the questions that were asked to him, no one ever brought up the early songs or unreleased songs. Or maybe he just didn't remember them or didn't count them or didn't regard them enough. And listen, there might be documentation that exists where he did. Maybe I just haven't read those interviews. And if so, I stand corrected. I could be wrong. It also made me think of when I interviewed Kenny Kayafa, aka Schlock, Jerry and Doyle's brother, back in the fall of 2010 at Tank's house, Jonathan Grimm's house. I interviewed Kenny and I was asking him, I was like, anything that, I was asking him to think about more music videos or something. I forgot what I said. It's somewhere, it's on the tape. And he told me of the existence of a music video for Night of the Living Dead. He wasn't sure of the song at first. And then he remembered that it was Night of the Living Dead. And I was like, what do you remember from that session? And he recalled how the band, while they were doing their performance, whatever, had like knocked over tombstones, which I thought was insane. And it was in some, cemetery somewhere in the Midwest. Maybe it was Ohio. I don't know. Either which way, why had no one thought to ask Jerry about any of this stuff in interviews? It's kind of interesting to me. Manny seemed to have a pretty sharp remembrance of the songs and their names, as well as certain key differences in arrangements when he was in the band. Songs where he was even singing backup, I think, as I recall him explaining during his demonstration of the tape. He was playing for me back in 2017. I think it's pretty common knowledge currently, and I don't mind saying it now that Manny has passed, I guess. But, you know, he went through like financial hardships, right? Like, I think that's kind of like known. And whether it was by his own hand or poor choices that he made, or his alcoholism or the state of his health. And he did receive some sort of royalties from the 2 tracks he played on. He was paid that were included with the box set. But, here he was sitting on a small trove of treasure, these tapes, right? That could have resulted in a nice payday, and as to what kind of payday that might have been is not something that I'm able to quantify per se. I could tell you what was told to me back in 2017, but I don't know how realistic it actually was. Manny, he didn't write any of the songs, but he did record them, and he owned those recordings as well as played on those tracks. And therefore he had a stake in them, in the same way that Jerry Only had a staked interest in all of the Misfits recordings that he helped to finance in 1977 to 1983. Had Manny wanted to, at any time, he could have sold those recordings to any number of bootleggers, kept the money, and been done with it. And who's to say that if he had the means and proper avenues that he wouldn't have? And what I mean by that is, like, I don't know that Manny knew any bootleggers or had any connection or avenue to any bootleggers in the first place, right? I mean, I don't. Who knows? I respect the fact that he didn't, though, because it would have been far more meaningful them. It would have been far more meaningful for them to come out in an official capacity, perhaps one where he, Franche Coma, Jerry Only, and Glenn Danzig could have all profited. Before I continue on, I want to take a quick sponsored break, this time from my own thing, my Patreon. That's right. I have a Patreon. It's a Patreon vault. We're going to call it a vault. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there, over 100 hours full of stuff. Jeff, would you tell us more about it?
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So I've decided to make a Patreon. What is Patreon? I don't know how to define a Patreon. Let me look it up. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it very easy for creators to get paid for the things that they're already creating. I want to do it full time. I want this to be my full-time job. In my efforts to make that happen, I've set up this platform. Is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? I don't know, but I would rather try and crash and burn than not try at all. The goal is to create enough passive revenue so that I can continue to do this full-time, uninterrupted. Why? Because I love to do this. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love shooting films. I love doing podcasts. In case you couldn't tell, I love to talk and I never shut the fuck up. So right now I've kept the Patreon incredibly simple. There's 2 tiers, and that may change in the future. The Murdergram is a simple way to extend support for all of the hours and hours of free content on the channel for nothing more than $1. 38 cents goes to Patreon. What's $1.38, eh? It's less than a cup of coffee, but it's a great way that you can show support for very little effort. When you divide that $1.38 by the hours and hours and hours of time spent listening to this endless drivel of content, the dollar cost average works out. Next up is the YouTube Casualty for $6.66. The YouTube Casualty is loaded to the gills. Enjoy the archive ad-free, as well as ad-free early access to special docu-style podcast videos, music reaction commentaries, and the like, a month before they drop on YouTube, loaded with ads, I might add. You're also going to get exclusive content and behind-the-scenes content that is not available on YouTube or anywhere else. So you get to peek behind the veil. And believe me, there's a couple of choice pieces. Most of all, more than anything, whether you join the Patreon or not, I just want to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that watches all the shows, that leaves comments, that participates, that subscribes. That's really the most important thing. This is just trying to find a way to earn a living as an artist. And with that, thank you for my TED Talk. Join the Patreon because we need you!
66 cents.
All right, we're back. Hi, thank you. Thank you for indulging me. Thank you for indulging me. I continue on. So, like, here's the thing. Once I knew about the existence of this show and that there were more, but really this show, I started to like fantasize in my head, right? I always kind of like fantasized and envisioned as a fan that maybe it would come out on Record Store Day or perhaps as part of some new Misfits collection that could somehow see the light of day. And as I mentioned above, in 2017, at one point, I think things came as close as they ever could possibly come to these songs being potentially released, at least as they were in Manny's possession at that time. And obviously that never came to pass, as we now know. Otherwise it would be out there in every conceivable avenue, whatever. It is far beyond my understanding, right? It's far beyond my understanding as to when that stopped being possible, but it happened before Manny died, clearly. And it didn't stop him from holding on to them either, right? So like whenever that had stopped being feasible, Manny still held on to the recordings. If he did have a connection to some kind of bootlegging entity, he most certainly didn't surrender them for a quick payday. I can't imagine all of the reasons why Glenn would not want them to come out, but I am sure that they are different from any of the reasons that any of us would have, mainly because we wouldn't have any reason for these not to see the light of day. You know, they could sound like a cat in a blender or like Chud watching videotapes of bestiality, and we would still want them out to the public, right? Like, it could have been a money thing. It could have been a perception thing. Maybe Glenn didn't like his vocals or the quality of the recordings, you know? This is something I had heard long time ago, long time ago, maybe 15, 16 years ago, right? Long ass time ago, before Manny had even resurfaced on the internet. He had brought those recordings to Jerry sometime in the 2000s, and he started coming to Jerry Fitz shows, right? Like when Jerry would route through Pennsylvania, Manny would show up, and he showed those recordings to Jerry. And from my understanding, as it was told to me, take that with a grain of salt, Jerry had deemed them unreleasable or unlistenable, something to that effect. But this was also at a time where Glenn would have needed to sign off, right? And Jerry and Glenn weren't sharing stages yet. Had they been, maybe this would have been a different story. You know, I mean, in the past, Jerry had tried to release the Max's show with the atrocious overdubs in the 90s. So why would this have been any different? All I can say is that I imagine the intention of whoever safeguarded these recordings and had them in their custody thought that they were in trusted hands until they weren't. How can you really ensure that someone you trust wouldn't turn around and share it with someone else, right? Like, when does it cross a line from privately shared to leaked onto the World Wide Web? How far removed from the original intention is it? Meaning like whoever originally held it. There's no way to accurately pin blame. And I suppose it's not, as I said above at the very beginning, it's not really important. It doesn't matter. They're out there now in the ether forever, okay? Like forever. They belong to the world, whether, you know, Glenn or Jerry or whoever. I mean, they could still find a way to press them and put them out, and I'm sure they would get bought, and I would buy them in a heartbeat. But, in terms, like if somebody wants to hear them, they can hear them now, like forevermore. And a question that I hear often, right? Like, why should they remain hidden at this point, especially now that Manny's gone? I hear that all the fucking time. I hear that in all sorts of comments. The shortest, most correct answer is that if I had the means to release it, it is still not my decision to make, right? How frustrating it might be to hear that, however frustrating it might be to hear that, right? So like, that's the truth. Even if somebody has these recordings, it's not their decision to make. The only person who gets to make that decision is Glenn Danzig, Jerry only, right? Or really just Glenn Danzig. And, with Jerry only and Francescoma benefiting, whatever that situation is, and yet that's frustrating to realize, but that's the truth, man. There are a plethora of reasons that I personally believe why it shouldn't be related, but then those are mainly related to integrity, especially the integrity and the honor or dishonor of how something came into one's own possession. It is simply not anyone's right or place to share or leak, especially out of respect to Francescoma, Jerry only, and Glenn Danzig. It's also my personal belief that the only time an unreleased recording is okay to share with another person is if it is already widely available on the internet. In other words, circulated. So if a recording is circulated, if people have it, if people can go about any which way to get it, and it's already out there, I don't see any issue with sharing that. I really don't, because they can just go about getting it in some other way. It's available. If it is uncirculated and unreleased, and the copyright / owner stands to profit from it, it is like such a dishonor, I think, to leak that out. I think that's a shitty thing to do. It is. I just think it's a really shitty thing to do. If it's unreleased and uncirculated, it should be forbidden, straight up. Unless, here's the only time it's okay: if you have consent from the artist or the copyright holder. If the artist or copyright holder goes, "Hey man, I want you to release this," then you can release it. Like that's what. And you could say, oh, gatekeeping. This is gatekeeping. But I consider it to be a matter of integrity, especially when there are other parties who hold the intellectual copyright and still maintain that right to profit off of these works if they should choose. Like that to me is integrity. Being fortunate enough to connect with someone who decides to share something with you or lets you hear it or watch it, that's like special and sacred. And it doesn't always afford someone the right to possess it as well. Meaning, just because someone is sharing something with me, it doesn't give me the entitled right to have it too. It just means, wow, cool. Thank you for sharing this thing. I got to share this with you. Thank you. That's awesome. And also like the discretion, right? I've also been in that position, and I didn't walk away resentful that the shiny, cool thing I got to enjoy wasn't given to me as well. I was just grateful to have heard things I got to hear or the things that I got to see. People need more of a reason, but there really isn't any more of a reason, at least for me. I think for anyone who is a musician, a filmmaker, or an artist, or has people that they care about who are, I would hope that they would understand that too. And if not, then we just have to agree to disagree. I do think, however, this is funny. I do think there are gray areas as well. Okay. There are gray areas. That's important. That's important to note. There's like this in-between sort of area. Let's use a completely hypothetical situation that I am making up off the top of my head as I wrote this. Let's say that you were in a band that crowdfunded money from your fans for a project. Maybe it was a movie or an album or a comic book, and never did your duty, you the artist, never did your duty to ensure that it gets made or finished or abide by any written agreements with people who you have contracted to do work for you on your behalf. If you are so derelict in your duties and responsibilities for a period of time that stretched out for years, that it prevented the completion of a work that was funded by people who you considered to be your fans, who you asked money from, I don't think I would feel bad or lose sleep over things that leaked, especially if there's no profit derived from it in the process. To me, that would be justice in the name of irresponsible, selfish dereliction. You'd have to be a really self-absorbed, backwards-facing idiot with an incredible lack of self-awareness or consideration for other people and their time and their money to get yourself into such a stupid situation in the first place. I don't know, man. I bet it could happen, though. You never know. In the past, I can say that I have come into possession of incredibly interesting, novel things that many would like to see. In the past, I've been given access and permission to acquire loads of unreleased and uncirculated music from individuals who granted me such a privilege. Does that entitle me the right to leak? Think about how insane that is, especially when the other person had trusted that I would keep it a secret because it remains legally unreleased. I think to exploit it is a poor character. I do. What about Corey Rusk, right? Corey Rusk is in possession of the Night of the Living Dead music video. Is he gatekeeping it by not letting every scum-sucking mouth breather chudling their nuts on the internet have it, right? You know what I'm saying? Is it wrong for him to not hold custody over it until it's in the right hands where it can be used in the most meaningful way possible? Right or wrong, I can't imagine how the leaking of Drive Me must affect the already cynical attitude of the people who can officially release these things or record new music. For the internet fiends that finally get the privilege to hear things that they couldn't have thought it possibly existed, it does make me happy. I'm truly stoked to see the reactions and I'm astonished. I'm astonished to watch people just like, go nuts, at how great of a song it is. In fact, if I had to make a top 5 list right now, perhaps I would go ahead and put it before Drive Me. I'd put Drive Me before Astro Zombies, Night of the Living Dead, Last Caress, and Children in Heat. In some cases, there are even covers. Someone's already covered Drive Me, and it's actually really amazing to see. And that I will play for you right now. Let me just get it out real quick. This is so cool, man. This guy actually covered Drive Me. Hold on. Oh shit. Sorry, my system is systeming right now. Let me see if I can get this up. This is awesome. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing his cover. I think it's so cool that he made this. Here, let me move this down here for a minute. Let me expand this. Nope. Give me a second. Give me a second. Wish I had a producer right now. Wow, why is that not working? Why is that not going full screen? Should go full screen. Oh, there. Maybe? No. Huh. That's strange. Okay. Either which way. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. All right, this guy. What's this guy's name? Does it say? It doesn't say his name. I don't know. This guy did. I can't find his name. His name is here somewhere, but he did. Look at this. How cool is this? All right, guy, let it rip. I'm going to play this for you. Isn't that cool? I mean, I think it's cool. Like, it's just crazy that, like, like people are like doing covers and stuff, already so fast. I like that. I think that was really nice. That was really nice to see, man. I was really stoked. Oh shit, I should have shared his name before I exit out. Sorry. Fuck. Damn it. All right, I'll find it. We'll get it back. Hold on, wait a second. Let me find. Here, I'm gonna put that in the chat for anybody. Oh shit. Who wants to listen to it again? It's from Dylan H. Dylan H did that. Go subscribe to his channel. Hold on. There it is. It's in the chat. There it is. Where was I? Well, was I in my little spiel and my little soapbox? My little soapbox. So like I said, there are covers, and to me, that's really amazing to see. But as much as I'm stoked, I'm disgusted. Okay. I'm also disgusted. Again, to go back to the gatekeeping thing, people keep talking about this notion of gatekeeping, and it's a fundamental misunderstanding of the situation. If it's not yours to share, if it belongs to someone else, it's not gatekeeping, especially if there are people who can make money off of it. I know I've said that like 100,000 times in 1,000 different ways, but I just feel like it's worth repeating over and over again, because there's going to be somebody somewhere who like, well, that's not the consent it's just so gatekeeping. Give me free shit. No one will touch me. Like what are you, a fucking incel? Tell me, are you a 46-year-old cannibalistic drummer harassing a 16-year-old girl outside of a horror punk music festival back in 2012, taking inappropriate pictures, trying to like take pictures of her upper skirt? Maybe you probably are, most times I think the scenario goes like this with like this leaking shit. Like it goes something like this. You entrust someone with something, believing that you can trust them, only for them to turn around and then give it to someone else with the truest intention of not letting it leak. Like truly, like, you thought that you could trust, right? But it turns out that they aren't trustworthy, or they aren't familiar with the first person who gave it, right? The giver. And before you know it, it has now reached an unsustainable amount of people, and someone who doesn't care or wants glory, or someone who wants views or clicks or likes, they end up posting it. That's what happens. And it's funny. It's also funny to watch people actually complain about their good fortune in this, finally leaking and whatnot. Like, I see comments of people actually complaining, wanting different formats, or to somehow acquire such a rare and unreleased media in a more convenient way. They're actually like incensed that the free, rare, unreleased track that is not available, that is simply just not available in the way that they want. What do you like? I don't know how to rip that. Can you just like make it down? Like, it's like, fuck, dude. The sense of entitlement with the lack of gratitude, it's just fucking vile, man. And it's so indicative of what the internet has become, to me, at least, if I had never had the privilege to hear some of these treasures, wouldn't I just be happy that this is happening? I'd be over the moon. I'd be making videos, analyzing and critiquing them. And I did. That's why I'm not going to do it again, because go watch the videos. They already fucking exist, But considering everything that I mentioned above, I find this all to just be, it's bittersweet, man. It's bittersweet. That's the bottom line. I felt the same way about when the Static Age Horror Business outtakes leaked as well. It was exciting. I was very excited. I had heard that stuff before, but I was excited. And I also found that it was a bummer, even though I didn't have any private access or nothing. I just felt it was like it was a bummer. And the reason why is because we've been asking and hoping and wanting these dudes to release things, and then they leak, and it just proves that there's sometimes unreasonable paranoia is actually correct. You know, why don't you release the fucking bootleggers? There are no any actual bootleggers, and then someone fucking bootlegs it on vinyl. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, you know. If Drive Me could leak, from what I do know, it stands to reason that more could eventually leak. It depends on various factors that are outside of my knowledge at this point, and most certainly will remain that way. So I don't know if there is more going to be leaked. I don't know. Who knows? But look, seeing Drive Me flood the internet at the end of October might be the tastiest Halloween trick yet. And yeah, that's it. You know, thanks for coming to my Jeff talk. And I'll shake my guts out just for you. You know, I'll shake them out. That's it. That's it. That's the end. Let's take a look at the comments now. Let's see if I can find some of these comments here. I'm just going to ignore some of the stupid ones if there are. Oh my God, there's so many fucking comments. Jesus. This is going to be a good one. So crazy that these have leaked after Manny's passing. I must say that the tracks, especially Drive Me, is insanely good. I wonder what other unreleased stuff is out there. I assume Glenn and Jerry have a few tapes knocking about. You know, I have to imagine, you have to imagine that somewhere in like Glenn's trunk of whatever that he's got. I've said that before, you know, I've said that before, that like he's got to have fucking some shit somewhere. You know, I think this is a good time real quick to tell you about my, I made a documentary called Kuyashi Gonzo. It's about the making of independent art. It's available for free on YouTube, and it would really please me if you would watch it. Here's the trailer. Who am I? I am nobody. I'm just a guy who is a big fan of the Misfits. And I also am a filmmaker. I have, in a month, a fucking huge shoot coming up. One of the biggest of my life.
I was scared to do it again because the first time I made a movie, it almost didn't come together.
What's so funny? It's just your grandson feeding you baby food.
If I didn't complete this feature film, it would have been the end of the world for me.
You got the shot.
Pain is temporary, home is forever. The process on one hand feels this impossible mountain to climb. Is this my great downfall?
And you kind of gulp and you go, okay, well, time to climb the next mountain. And that's kind of like what life is. We'll take it a shooting day at a time. We're going to get magic.
It's gonna be like fucking Magic Johnson.
Leave. Get out. Ah!
The anxiety is unpleasant and uncomfortable. The fear is a very healthy one.
Growing.
This tastes like sand, fucking mud.
No, when in doubt, when you don't know what you're doing, just make everything blue.
You need this humility to be like, maybe you can't do this.
Or red.
Which leads me to go, well, I'm going to try my goddamn best to.
Or a combination thereof. Just go Suspiria.
Wouldn't be a micro-budget independent film without a hallucination scene, right?
You also throw up some nice chunky chunks. You got no problem eating oatmeal?
Oh shit, oh man, I'm sorry.
You look like fucking Ash.
After today, what percentage would you say we're at? We don't have enough action scenes. I think we're at about half.
This is supposed to be the finale of the film.
Yeah, might be right. We might have half of the movie.
There's nothing to talk about until there's a movie in the can.
This is your Frank Booth gun.
Shove, 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 punch, punch, punch.
There's a scene waiting to be revealed within the footage.
Take down with the headlock.
Like a block of marble waiting to become a sculpture.
And then no, don't do it or whatever. And then.
And I'm spent!
I'm in uncharted territory right here.
I don't even know what we're doing.
A fork in the road. Isn't this what happened to Dante when he encountered Virgil?
Like, I kind of know. I have an idea.
I feel like a failure.
I was not expecting to be where I am at 35.
I've never been so broke in my life.
I'm feeling a lot of self-pity.
This thing could be taken from me at any moment.
And yet, for some reason, I'm happy.
You only fail if you give up.
Tonight, we dined in hell.
this journey. It's one of the most profound lessons of my life.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. Okay. Let's all right, let's take a look at some more comments here. I've been waiting for this. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do any of these comments. Fuck, this is gonna be hard. This ain't gonna be easy. This ain't gonna be easy. Motherfucker. Oh, we got Crazy White Boy is here from Baltimore. I love Crazy White Boy. Shout out to him. Ramy Stein. Ramy's here. Yeah, nice hat. Ramy and I were hanging out with Jerry Other in Queens, and he gave us these hats. It was so nice of him. I loved it. It's a great hat. It's a great, great hat. Really. What else? Mushroom Leg is here. Wait. Oh, shit. I can't keep track. Mushroom Leg says he's a dirty white boy. I remember that video. It was the first Frumess video I watched. That's right. Mushroom Leg is OG. He's OG from his channel. I think it's hilarious that Glenn goes after people who, when every band he has ever made, stolen other IP for their logos. It's ironic. Yeah, I mean, I agree. We love a vinyl for the Manny Tapes, right? Ramy says he's still holding his breath for any version of recordings, original or overdubs of Max's Xmas, even though I've listened to my bootleg copy of it for decades. Did I hear Barbie Bites the Dust? That's fake, man. That is totally fake. I asked Bobby Steele about that. There's no song called Barbie Bites the Dust. That's just an old wives' tale. That's just an old wives' tale. Cousin Jody Ramone is here. Ace Von Johnson is here. Hi, Ace. I don't know if he's still here. Ace, rock and roll. Dan is here. Hi, Dan. Oh, kazoo. Dan's asking about the kazoo. Should do the first. Eric's here. Hi, Eric. Were you early or late? Is that the first kazoo cover of Drive Me ever in the history of the world? I don't know. I got lost. I got lost in the kazoo arrangement. It didn't work out. I'm sorry. But yeah. All right, nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that. Sorry. Yeah, Drive Me is like really the it really is the greatest. It's the greatest. Sounds like a Jerry thing. I know he would be constantly hiring crews to record live shows professionally. I don't know. A lot of musicians recorded shows, rehearsals to listen back and scrutinize. Even the Grateful Dead regularly did this in their early days. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you record every fucking practice. We all had a Sony tape deck. Dan says, I recorded every single practice with my band. I have like 50 tapes full. Hey, Jose is here, Misfits Medic. He says, Misfits Central, the start of my lore in 2004, 2005. Rumblefish says, my band recorded everything on a small Sony boombox. JS says, it's just part of being in a semi-serious band. If you want all your recordings, no matter how shitty. I mean, that's an interesting, these are interesting perspectives. Sorry, it's really hard to go from thing to thing to thing. Dude, I was at work when I found out about the leak. I stopped immediately what I was doing to listen to them. Then when I got home, I listened to them about 20 times. To Find the Wind Again is an instrumental. I think it's no. I think there's one with lyrics too. I think. Immediately, I checked to see if Frumess had commented on it, and nothing for days. I wasn't going to do it, man. I wasn't going to do it. I know I say that for every fucking stupid, fucking controversial, whatever little thing, but I really wasn't. But like, I seriously, I've had so many people fucking text me or message me or whatever, and like, you know, I mean, what? This is what I fucking do. Like, this is, I don't know. Last Caress on a Piano sounds like a fucking show tune is what it fucking sounds like. That's what it fucking sounds like. Drive Me has a hint of Devil's Angels for the chorus. Does it? Think about it. I think almost all of the songs on Static Age might have been written on the piano. They have that droning quality to them. Most certainly some of them do. Angel Fuck is amazing from 77. It's amazing how Glenn's Misfits range had bottom that was superior to anyone else's best. Can't believe we might get another version of Last Caress. I don't know, man. Don't hold your breath. I don't know anything. Classic Frumess. He's teasing out his opinion of Drive Me for all it's worth, master. I mean, well, you gotta make a meal out of everything, right? There's definitely more than one unheard song, that's for certain. I'd like to know why only 2 of these tracks were leaked. Why not the rest? I already talked about that. Amazing how Drive Me was unearthed 30 years after In the Doorway. I think they're on their way. I don't know. I don't want them to be. I don't think they should. I think that this is wrong. I already said that. You already know that. I talked about that. I just think it's wrong, man. I don't think it should be. I really don't. Like, I want everybody to hear it too, but like, it's just, I just think it's fucked up, man. I just think it's fucked up. I gave my one example of when I think it's not fucked up. That's when it's like street justice. That's when I think it's a little bit different. Please go over in detail what you thought when you first heard about it after you listened. My inner dialogue, is this legit? I knew it was legit, man. I mean, obviously it was legit. I was sitting with Manny, you know, of course it was legit, but like, yeah, I mean, I already said this. It's just like, you just can't fucking fathom what you're like. You can't believe it. There's something that you just didn't know. We think we know everything and we know nothing. There's nothing, like, you know, and I'm sure that there's like so much shit that I don't know that's like out there that's like, you know, probably fucking crazy, man. I that always fucking happens. Thank you. Ramy Stein just became a YouTube member. So thank you, Ramy. I salute you, sir. Thank you for supporting the channel. Guys, again, Patreon is available. Link is down in the description. Giant Vault. It's also available on YouTube. You can become a YouTube member if you prefer just to be natively in YouTube. Seriously, there's got to be like 100 videos. There's just tons of stuff. I call them secret shows, tons of secret shows that are not publicly available, just all sorts of stuff. How crazy would it be if the Static Age Masters turned up? The original Masters, who knows, man. No, the ones from the box set come from a mixed down tape because of France Como. We have that. He's literally the hero of the Federation for that. Sorry, I don't mean to have dead air here. Ramy says, all they need to do is sit there together with an open ear and decide what could be mastered, even just as is, and press it on vinyl as singles and so on. The fandom is clearly there. Ramy is ultimately correct. That's the ultimate correct position on this. I don't think we'll ever get an official 12 Hits from Hell. I think that's the most unlikely thing. I I did. You know, I know that Tom did that whole interview somewhere with that other channel. I did a like 3-hour interview with him years ago, and he told me like the whole fucking story in like I'm sure he probably told the same way. I didn't watch that show. I really should, in harrowing detail of how it all happened. Crazy shit. Unit is telling that after 5 days, the views from the original uploaded still has less than 50,000 views. Yeah, I don't know. Still amazing that it's crazy that it is funny. I agree, Loken. Like, it has not hit any of the metal or punk websites. Nobody has written. No, you're kind. I don't think. When did this live stream start? I'm not going to answer that question. This is obviously, we're in the after show now, I think, right? This is the after show where we just go through the comments. After this show, I expect the views to be hit over 100K. Dude, I don't have that kind of reach. I don't have that kind of reach. I don't. This is Classic Frumess. Welcome to Classic Frumess. Thank you. You're very kind. You're too kind. Rainey says, people have harassed me for shit like it's owed to them to be given shit that I was given in confidence. It's not gatekeeping. It's being entrusted as an appreciator to give feedback on, in my opinion. Raimi, you are absolutely correct. And I know that Raimi has fallen victim to this as well. Like, I know he's shared with me some pretty insane like stories that like blew my mind, you know, the things that were in his possession and then were not in his possession. Like, it's just crazy. The number one excuse I'm also given, oh, you can trust me, bro. Bro, I don't even know. Yeah, right. Nope. Misfit Medic says, nope, doesn't give you the right to leak. You were given something by trust and you got to honor that trust. That's what I'm fucking talk about. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Ricky says, I've heard In the Doorway was originally named Down in the Dark Pathway. That is the first time I've ever heard that. That's crazy if it's true. I've never, where did you hear that from? I've never heard that. The Frumess is fruming. I like that. Sorry, am I like this is my favorite comment of all. Oh my god, don't be such a pussy. Old ass Misfit song just leaked. That's rolls. End of story. I can't tell if this is like sarcasm. I can't tell if this is sarcasm or this is serious. It's really fucking funny though. Oh my god, don't be such a pussy. Somebody already covered it, man. This is like the band Mr. Stopes recording of Grave songs before the Web of Dharma even came out. Yeah, I already shared that. Go back a few steps. What do I think of Drive Me? Just for the sake of baking it into the stream, as I said, I think it's fucking incredible. It is my personal of all the unreleased Misfit songs I've gotten to hear. It's my favorite. To me, it's like the gem that stands out. I love Lullaby. I love Glenn singing on Lullaby. I love Glenn's doing a real crooning thing on Infant Stranger. And especially on Lullabies, sparkle from your real, like he's doing this whole thing. But Drive Me, to me, there's something like really deeply romantic about Drive Me. I can't explain it. It almost feels like a seduction in a way. And it's like this, you know, the idea like I'll shake my guts out for you. It's like this sort of this pledge. I don't know, like this pledge of admiration. I just really fucking like that. I like that a lot, man. I just think it's great. I think it's great. Yes, that would be amazing. If they played fucking Drive Me, I would die. Gatekeeping is the guy who gets butthurt over kids getting into Metallica over Master of Puppets being played in Stranger Things. Yeah, Raimi. Yeah, I agree. Those people who don't understand are just weasels. It's not gatekeeping. Johnny Bob says, appreciate Manny tried to sell the tapes to Glenn and Jerry, and they weren't interested at the time. Apparently. Oh, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. What else? We know who leaked it. Who fucking knows? Wrong. It's just sweet. That's just how I imagine Rip Darley. I don't know how you speak. I just imagine you just talking like that Napoleon's brother from Napoleon, Kip. Instead of Rip, you're Kip Darley, and you just talk like this. The internet, society as a whole is like that. A signal going to space and back. And Rami, you sound like Rod Sterling from the Twilight Zone. The internet, society as a whole is like that. A signal going to space and back in mere seconds isn't fast enough to someone who didn't know life before the internet, let alone dial-up modems, here on the Twilight Zone. Did you hear Archangel rehearsal before it leaked this month? Dude, that's been fucking going around like since fucking Misfit Central, man. That's like really old circulation. That's been around forever, man. The last thing before 2017, the last thing that came out that was truly like back on Misfit Central days, we were all fucking geeking out over the back end of the lost version of Plan 9. Rami, you might remember that, and Misfit Medic, you might remember that. That was so, oh my God. To hear Devil's Whorehouse, that completely alien version of Devil's Whorehouse, holy shit. You never heard this song. Manny was right. Manny was right. Rami says, so I think they, Glenn and Jerry, need to do some kind of series like Fugazi is now streaming, where it's just live shows like, hey, for a small amount, here's a live show from Des Moines, Iowa. Interesting. Yes, we didn't talk much about Feline Nursery is also released. However, that Feline Nursery is not from, that's from a completely different recording. It sounds like that's from a rehearsal. That is not from that Eddie's live show. It's a completely different version of Feline Nursery. This is so fucking cool, man. So these are the chords to Drive Me. The verse, it's, what is that? A minor, G, E minor chorus, G, B minor, C, A minor, D. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Those are the chords. Everybody go cover Drive Me. I want to hear some really fucking polished versions of Drive Me, like cover. That would be fucking awesome. I want to hear that. Give me that shit. JS, I have a feeling there are plenty of songs that receive that much attention. Like, think about like the Electric Nebraska for Bruce Springsteen fans. I don't even listen to Bruce Springsteen, but like I know that was a big deal, right? This is like the equivalent of the Zapruder film being released. I assure you, there are way more Zapruder film things than this. This is not the Zapruder film. I've seen the Zapruder film, or one of them at least. I've seen it. The people who have the problem with these songs being shared are the ones who already heard or had recordings of them. The Great Danton, that's not true, man. Or maybe it is true, actually. I suppose you're right? Like, if you haven't heard these, you'd be like, fuck you. Like, I want to hear them. Like, I don't give a shit that they're unreleased, uncirculated. You know, I probably would feel that way too. Yeah, no, I guess actually you're right. You are correct. You are correct, sir. But that's not the sole reason. I mean, that's not the sole reason, man. If you came into something, if you were given something, or you came into something in an honest or dishonest way, like, there is an integrity to not like letting it be spread. You know, I'd say the opposite for you, Great Danton, right? You have a problem because if you had been one of those people who got to hear it in privilege, then maybe you wouldn't care if it got released, or maybe you would care if it got released or not released. So I would say the opposite to you. I don't know. It's hardly fair for you to be able to hear and enjoy a song and deny it to me. These tracks will never be officially released and lost of time if not shared. That is like dude, I got to tell you, that is such a crazy thing to say. Could you imagine just like walking up to an artist and going like, and going like, you're denying me the right to hear your thing or something that you're in the custody of? That is dude, that is like just such a sense of entitlement, man. That's such a sense of entitlement, you know? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You don't know that they would have never officially been released. I don't know. Who knows? We don't fucking know. We don't know how any of that shit works. But like this is the exact sense of entitlement that I'm talking about. Like that doesn't, what you're saying right now does not, still not entitle you the right to fucking hear it. As much as it doesn't entitle me the right to hear things that I want to fucking hear. Right? Like that's just not how fucking things work. Whether it's fair or not, like you just, by your logic, you're saying that like everything belongs to you or just should merely belong to you because you're a fan of that thing. So therefore you deserve to hear it. It just doesn't fucking work that way. Danzig, satanic salad dressing. Let's get a quick Danzig purr, shall we?
Jeff is gonna talk.
Shit, oh my God, do you remember that? Fuck. I meant to do an extreme Danzig close-up, but that was the theme song. My God. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh shit. Did we lose our chat? Did we lose our, or no, we didn't. Good. Yeah, we did. Motherfucker. Yeah, Barbie is fake. Barbie is fake. Yeah, that black salad dressing. It's like literally turned pitch black. Her black salad dressing. Am I going to do a show on the recent Danzig vinyl reissues? So I'm not going to get Danzig 1 because I already own it. I have a first pressing, a Euro edition of the first pressing. I don't see any reason to buy a new pressing. I will be getting 2, 3, and 4. I heard that there were more variants that were going to come out. I heard that for Record Store Day, there was going to be some shit. So I actually held off. On buying them. When I buy them, I'll unbox it. I'll do an unboxing. I love this. I love Rip. Let's read like Rip's in for real. He stole Danzig's ranch and now is preaching about how people shouldn't leak old Misfit songs. Should I leak? Do you want me to leak Danzig's old black ranch dressing? Is that what you're asking? You want me to actually break the seal on that? Do you know what would happen? We would all die. Like it would be like I would literally be like singing "Die Die My Darling" as I like hit the floor, you know. James says, when I heard Archangel 1981, it kind of blew my mind sonically and lyrically. It's kind of like the sequel to Ghouls Night Out. The time of that recording lines up. You know, maybe I haven't heard this new recording of, or whatever, this leaked recording of Archangel. Maybe it is something that I wasn't aware of. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should check it out. The Great Dancing. Again, the people who are angry about these songs being shared have already heard them. Ballad says, hey, what's up, Ballad? How are you? What I've heard is that Manny's house was broken into after he passed by multiple people. They stole what was transferred, which was 2 copies. The rest, the master tapes, were left behind, however, thankful. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, I would say that is fucked up if it was true. I have no idea what's true. I don't know anything anymore. Who knows? Ballad says, apparently they stole his drums, rare pictures, prized possessions, and those 2 copies of the tapes. The majority of the tapes weren't transferred, so they didn't steal those and the masters. Damn. What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Lost forever or leaked are the only options. That's just not true, though. That's not true. That's just simply not true. That is wrong. Johnny Bob Goldstein, I'm sorry to say. Whoever leaked the songs should also leak the Epstein files. For once, Jeremy Dean, I agree. Misfit Medic, this Ramey guy knows what he's talking about. Yes, he does. Dudley Dawson, any clue what these lyrics might be? I think I can understand some. I love the song. We should really do, okay, that's something we should do. We should do a lyrical analysis of Drive Me. The problem is, I saw in one of the videos, there were some transcriptions. I should go back and copy those over, and we should do a separate video just looking at the lyrics. That's what we should do. I think that's what we're going to do. Gatekeeping, activity of controlling access to something. Danton, you completely fucking missed the point of everything I said, man. You missed the point of everything I said. Just because someone has heard it or is in possession of it does not give them the right to leak it, dude. That's the bottom fucking line. That's the bottom fucking line. What are you talking about? You just think you should just automatically be entitled to have something. If it's unreleased and uncirculated and someone stands to make a profit from it, it should not be released. You don't get to say. The only person who really gets to say is the fucking guy who owns it, man. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom fucking line. You didn't get a chance to hear it? Fucking tough shit, man. Like, what can I say? Why didn't you drive out to fucking Manny's fucking place when he was fucking showing it to people, I shook my guts. Josh Geisfeld says Static Age style of Drive Me would go hard. The leaked Feline Nursery has a missing part in the first verse. Johnny Bob Goldstein says, I think this is a difference since it's recordings of a live show that anyone could have documented at the time and released. Manny is gone, and Glenn and Jerry didn't seem to care when offered. I don't know that they didn't seem to care when offered. I don't know what the conversation was. I don't know. I don't know what happened. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know that Jerry even has a say in the same way that Glenn does. Consider this, Johnny. Consider this. The Glenn and Jerry have a partnership, right? Like a current partnership that's kind of also built on an older partnership or an older understanding that stems from the 94 lawsuit. In the 94 lawsuit, or the settlement, the 95 settlement, or however, whatever, which, by the way, we talk about in great detail in the Patreon. I went through all of the legal files. There's like 10 episodes of that shit. So if you like that sort of shit, check out the fucking Patreon vault, because we found some interesting documents in there too. That was, oh my God, the Legacy of Brutality document. Holy shit. That was eye-opening for me into understanding a lot of things. It was very fucking interesting. Very fucking interesting. Yes, there's a lot of fucking nothing burgers in there too, but come on. Still pretty interesting. Okay, so my point is that if Glenn, does Glenn own the publishing and copyright to that, right? Like based on the 95 agreement, is that song included? Were only the 54 masters part of that agreement? You know what I'm saying? There potentially is red tape that might not have been discussed. Maybe they're getting along enough, making millions of dollars playing live shows. They don't even want to fucking go to that place where they would be butting heads and trying to figure out what's what. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Maybe Glenn doesn't want to give the amount of money that Jerry feels that maybe he's owed or would want to be owed for said live recordings. Maybe they're trying to put together another fucking box set and they're just holding on to it for another fucking box set. Who fucking knows, man? Truly, who fucking knows? So the point is that by putting it onto the internet gives them less what's the word I'm thinking of? Less not initiative. Initiative. No, not initiative. What's the word? Man, I gotta tell you, I think I'm going fucking senile. This words just fall out of my head. They just ball out of my head. Incentive. Thank you. Sorry. Incentive. Thank you, Jeff. Like, where's their fucking incentive to like invest the amount of money in an endeavor like that if it just is leaked all over the fucking internet? I would be fucking bummed as shit. I would be bummed as shit. Like, so, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I just don't think you understand. It's business, man. Like, how could you not understand? Do you make music? Are you a musician? Are you an artist in any kind of way? Like, I mean, people, create things, then they own them creatively and they want to exploit them in a way where they can make money. And that's a lot harder to do when people fucking, again, there is gray area. There's gray area. If it's a recording that's already fucking out there, everybody's fucking got it. Who fucking cares? That doesn't matter anymore. But if it's something that's uncirculated, that's what makes where I personally feel that's where integrity really lies. It's uncirculated. Don't keep circulating it further. If you have to share it with someone, it should be someone that is literally going to make it possible that that recording is going to be released, right? If it's not that, then don't fucking don't share it, because what's going to happen is it's just going to fucking spread, and then it will get out, and then nothing comes out. I take solace in the fact to know that it just exists, that it's intact, and that it will come out someday, even if I haven't gotten a chance to hear it. I never thought I would hear these things in the first place, and I did. So, I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's fucking bittersweet. It's bittersweet. What can I say? Yeah, it's dirty black dressing. That's true. Correct. Hello, Wolf Blood. Amy says, there's been some recording of Archangel going around. It's basically him and Jerry kind of noodling around in the studio. I guess you know what? I guess this is a new version that I have not heard. I guess so. I guess I have, and I can now go check it out because it's widely leaked on the internet. Thanks, internet. Thanks, internet leaker. That's so kind of you. But do you see? I don't feel bad about listening to that. It's already on the fucking internet. Do you see the difference? Now, if I had the ability to listen to an uncirculated, unreleased recording and someone told me not to, but I had the ability to, would I take it? Of course I would take it. I mean, that's just crazy not to. But to release it, to leak it to other people, that's so wrong to me. That's wrong. Whoever did that is wrong. That was fucking stupid and not a nice thing to do. Unless shit's street justice, yo. Unless it's street justice. Glenn will have to admit the song is his in order to get it taken down or present a copyright of the song. Is that it? Did we get to the end of the comments here? When we reach the end of the comments, I'm fucking turning this thing off. Oh no, there's more. There's more. There's a difference. It's the recordings of a live show. Sorry, this is not interesting at all. There's been some, right? I already saw that. Lost Forever is a lie. Go to any dicking museum in all of the world. They do curated expeditions on artists of finished and then unveil unfinished works. It's a great retrospective of an artist. For sure, man. Dan says, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Yeah, Dan. Don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day, Napoleon. That's how I imagine that guy. Hey, whoever that guy is, can you talk some more? Because I just want to keep talking like you. Guy. Cousin Jody Ramone says, in February, a channel uploaded 1981 Archangel with Jerry Lee on bass and incomplete lyrics. That's what I swear to God that's existed forever. I'm almost positive. I remember from way back when. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't heard it. I got to check that out. That's crazy. Is it still out? Is it still circulating? Not when it's recorded from a show in public domain. Dude, Johnny, I like you, man. I say this with all due respect. You're wrong, bro. You are wrong. It's not in the public domain. I mean, or if you're saying like in public domain, that doesn't fucking make a difference at all. That does not grant you any kind of right. You're not entitled, man. That's not how copyright law or anything works, man. Unreleased material might be a gray area when it comes to the settlement. Maybe. YC Slime. Hello, fellow Misfits fans. Love the channel, by the way, Frumess. Thank you, YC Slime. Ramey says, I don't know if it's that common of knowledge, but the original box set Talks via Glenn by himself was supposed to be a 7-inch box set when no one cares about vinyl anymore in the early 90s. I think that was the purpose of this, actually. Speaking of bootlegs, look at that. I did not buy this. This was sent to me mysteriously. Not kidding. Sent to me in a mysterious fucking package. I just received it. It's fucking cool as shit. I did an unboxing video on my channel. You can check that out. Mum's Arcade. Ask Glenn or Jerry instead of maybe this or maybe that. Oh, okay. Sure. Hold on. 1 second. Let me just dial Jerry's number. 9 Jerry only. Beep, 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 beep. Bring, 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 bring. Hello? For the kids. Yeah, because I could just call them at any fucking time. You're acting like it's a leaked album to be sold. It's recordings from a live show. But Johnny, I'm telling you, dude, that doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter it's not, it's a fucking their song. It's their fucking IP. It was in possession of the fucking band member. You know what I mean? It's not, that doesn't make it ours. It doesn't make it anybody's. It makes it theirs. They get to decide. That's the bottom line. Mom Longoria is here. Hi, Mom. Yes, it's bittersweet. I can see Danzig being upset by these unauthorized releases in interviews, and the public is going to tear him apart. Sounds like a practice. A 7-inch box set would be killer. They would make so much money off of that. Imagine the variance. Yeah, I mean, of course. But of course. You know there will be a bootleg Drive Me 7-inch coming soon. Yes, I am sure that it will be pressed to 7-inch. Absolutely. Somebody is going to bootleg that shit. Somebody is going to bootleg that shit. And when they do, send me a copy. Please send me a copy. And we'll open it up live on the fucking internet, because why the fuck not? I don't think it's right. I don't think they should, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're thinking of the Glenn and Al Pike from Reagan Youth overdubs with finished. Yes. Okay. So there's another version of Archangel with Jerry. I guess I haven't heard that, man. No. There's a third one. I'm man. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure, man. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Cringe Kid is saying what Ramey is saying. You're thinking of the Al Pike 1983 version of Archangel. The 81 recording is new. It used to be on YouTube, but it's gone now, so you have to do some digging. Ramey says public domain legally means X amount of years of not making money profits off of it. It's been years since I studied under the Supreme Court copyright lawyer turned MIC. I don't, but I don't even, but here's the thing. Here's the thing though. Like I still don't think that lends it to being in the public domain, right? If it had been in the public domain for 50 years and remained unpublished, maybe that could be some kind of loophole to get into public domain. The recording was just released. You know, it was just released. That doesn't mean anything. You know, it really doesn't mean anything. They sell that red box Misfits collection at Rhino Records near here in Montclair, California. What, the thing I just posted? The thing I just shared? Really? Jeremy Dean, if anything, this will be the push to have Glenn and Jerry sign off on some kind of release of these early recordings. I don't know, man. I don't know that it would be. I do not know. I do not know. Johnny says, I get that. I just mean, what if a fan recorded the same show and owned the tapes and released it? Would I still be pissed? It would be a different story. It would be a different story. If the Misfits performed it, no, it would be a different story. Slightly different story. If that person who recorded it and then released it themselves, it would be a gray zone because it would be half fucked up because it's still Glenn and Jerry's, or it's still Glenn's song, right? But if he just released it, if he just leaked the fucking song that he recorded himself and didn't sell that recording to Glenn, it would be better. I think it would be better. The fact that this recording came from the band, that recorded themselves, right? Like, that's a different story. If somebody in the audience had recorded that, who was a fan, maybe doesn't own the publishing to the song or the copyright to the song, but they own that recording. Because here's how things work. If you, that means he's like there's like a half ownership sort of situation in this kind of way. If I take a photo of you, Johnny Bob Goldstein, if I take a photo of you or a video of you with my camera, I own the copyright of that recording. I don't own your likeness, right? Like, I don't own your likeness. I would need you to maybe sign off on a release if I was doing. It depends on the situation. If it was like news or if it was a documentary, documentary. I would need you to sign a release that gives me the right to use it commercially. That's what would have to happen. But if you wanted the video of your likeness from me, you would have to buy that from me because I technically own the copyright. The shooter, the videographer, the photographer, they own the copyright. Great example. Erie Vaughn took a ton of photographs of the band, right? Technically, Glenn has a right to his publicity, right? And technically, Erie would need Glenn, I think, to sign off on those photos. For whatever reason, Erie was able to release his book and Glenn didn't do anything about it, but Erie owns the copyright of those photos. So he may not own Glenn's likeness or whatever, but he owns the copyright to that photograph. So anytime that somebody wants to use that photograph commercially, they need to license it from him. So Johnny, if you wanted the footage from me that I shot of you, you would have to license it from me. If I said, no, I want to have it commercially. So the fan that recorded that thing from the audience in 1977, the Misfits would need to buy it from that fan in the same way that they would need to buy it from Manny, right? Like if Manny held the copyright, if Manny was the person who pressed record, and that's why sometimes with like documentary shit, like things get so fucking tangled. Like if you hand a camera over to someone else and they're shooting, you need to find them, track them down, and get them to sign off and let you use that footage that they shot, because they could sue you technically if it wasn't a work for hire, or if there's some sort of weird fucking situation, even if it's a work for hire on paper, if it's not an actual work for hire that follows work for hire rules by that state, it still don't fucking matter. It's like shit is so fucking complicated, man. So would I be pissed? I would be less pissed, or I would be less annoyed. I don't know. We need an episode dedicated to just versions of Archangel featuring Remy. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to check out this fucking Archangel. Alan's here. He says, I never thought I'd be able to hear this stuff. Definitely need these after Ozzy died. Well, you know what? In that way, just as I said, I'm very happy that people are getting to hear it. I'm glad that made you feel better after Ozzy died, despite all of this. I mean, that might have happened. Glenn got text messages on his flip phone. And he was like, oh, what's going on? What the fuck? Who knows? Who knows? Open up your notifications after stream. I bet he clicked on it and pleasantly remembered it. Hopefully it nudged Glenn. I mean, I believe that Glenn heard these recordings many years ago when I don't think that this is new to him, you know. Black Dress Blue Movie says, saying it's a grave moral failure to post a 50-year-old demo recording, but it's totally fine to go listen to it, is wildly inconsistent. Stick to your guns and skip Archangel, bud. I totally disagree. Totally fucking disagree. What you said doesn't make any fucking sense, bro. Josh, I wonder why Drive Me hasn't been leaked earlier. Scarcity or people fearing repercussions from people in the band because it was kept in close circles. Mum's Arcade. We can hear Glenn, but how do we know Jerry is on it? Recognizes bad. Dude, Jerry's on. I assure you, Jerry. I assure you that Jerry is on it. That's Jerry playing, and Jerry's playing is pretty fucking good. Yo, if you're on fucking Facebook commenting on this shit, like hop over to YouTube. I'm not even gonna acknowledge Facebook comments. Only YouTube comments. I can see the Facebook comments, but come over to YouTube. Ramy, so a lot of guys related to the olden days Misfits will release shit and be like, well, money is owed to one another, and that's how they would get away without paying royalties, etc. Yeah. Great show, Jeff. Next time, have more confidence in your role. I don't think I'm definitely not a number one authority. Oh, fair enough. Well, look, listen, Johnny, I want to say I appreciate your debate and discourse on the situation. I do. I do. It's not that I don't see your perspective. I understand your perspective. I just don't agree with it. I just don't think that I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's wrong. I mean, I just don't think it's right. Bottom line. Man, when was the last time we had a fucking long ass show like this? This was a long show. I mean, I did do a 2-hour show the other day, but that was different. This wasn't like one of these. Yeah, so I think that maybe Johnny, thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the discourse. Appreciate you. Jeremy Dean says, I've been sued by Glenn and Jerry. Everybody should try it at least once. Okay, Jeremy, you can't wait until an hour and 43 minutes to tell us that you've been sued by Glenn and Jerry. So what was that like? What was it like to be sued by Glenn and Jerry? Why? And Jeremy, why did they sue you? What was the reason for their? If you can say, maybe you can't talk about it. I don't know. Might not be possible. Might not be possible. Cousin Jody Ramone. I see, Cousin Jody. Curtis says Glenn and Jerry should re-record these songs and release them under the original Misfits. Now that is a good fucking idea. Finally, a good fucking idea. Yes, I agree, man. Like, make a new album of old fucking material, because whatever new material is probably going to be fucking weird. Do the fucking old material. Yes. JS, I don't know that, man. I think this is like my definitive statement. I don't know that I really need to do another video on it, right? Like, what am I just I'm going to say the same fucking thing over and over again? Like, I don't know. It depends. It depends on what comes out. If something comes out, I will say I would like to take a look at that Archangel, and I would like to, what was the other one? Was there something else? I don't remember. Cringe Kid says, I don't think they should be re-recorded without Manny. That's a very interesting thing that you just said. I can't tell you why, but that's a very oh fuck. Fucking pig turtles. Curtis says, I've been threatened by Glenn's lawyers over some skateboards I made in the mid 2000s. Oh, Jeremy, Jeremy's talking about the Scream With Me book. Right. Fuck. I knew that. Why did I think your name was so familiar? So Jeremy is the third fuck. So it's Umberto, Tom, and Jeremy. And Jeremy, you and I had a conversation a long time ago. Do you remember, Jeremy? I don't know if Jeremy remembers. Jeremy, tell me you remember that. Yeah, dude. Fuck, when would we talk? And what did we talk on? Did we talk on the phone? Was it text message? Was it Facebook? I'm trying to remember when we spoke. By the way, Jeremy, I fucking love your book. Your book was awesome. We did the look through of it some time back. That to me, Jeremy, that besides Erie Vaughn's book, which I also love, I mean, that's like the definitive fucking book, man, for me on the Misfits. Just so fucking good, dude. You guys got all those quotes from everybody. It was just fucking killer, man. Looking forward to the lyrics. Oh, yes, right. Thank you for reminding me, Cousin Jody. Yes, that's what it is. Hey, whoever, if you could find in one of those videos, somebody like wrote down what they thought was being sung in the video. Somebody send me those lyrics, man. Somebody send me those lyrics and take a look at them. Maybe Glenn should do the keys on this so he can retrain his voice. Yeah, he came for the coffee. Thanks for coming, JS. Be well. You're already, JS, you're already a writer. Just by commenting in the fucking thing. You already are. My voice is starting to go. Tank says, what book is it that you're talking about? I'm talking about the Scream With Me book. That Jeremy, right underneath you, Jeremy is the writer, one of the writers and creators of the Scream With Me book, the pink book. It's just the fucking it's the best, dude. It's the fucking goat. It's the fucking goat. Jeremy, you can't legally talk about that shit. I was like trying to get Umberto to come on some time ago. He didn't want to do it. I understand. I fucking get it, dude. I fucking get it. I do. Scream With Me is great. It's my favorite book along with Misery Obscura. Glenn's voice is amazing again. Don't know what he did to his voice. It's fucking great. Glenn, he took some magical Chinese herbs. That's what happened. Does anyone remember the leak years ago of Danzig's demos for the original Misfits, the 3 songs? Yeah, I never got to hear those, but I do remember something about those. Whatever happened to those? Text a few. Right. We text messaged a few years ago. Jeremy, do you still have my phone number? Jeremy, if you do, if not, send me an email at some point. If you want to. Okay, right on. I have that. Misfits Medic says he's got to go look up the book. So unfortunately, the book is no longer in print. There was this weird sort of ruling where the remaining copies that were in circulation could be sold, but they could never repress the book, which is a strange ruling, I think, personally. I mean, that's crazy. Scream With Me looked amazing. Jeremy, did they think you were an idiot for printing it on black pages? As I said, the book didn't, I mean, Jeremy could answer this better than me. The book did not get pulled. It sort of got pulled. It was blocked from ever being repressed. That's what happened. Glenn's voice has been gone since 7. I don't agree, man. I don't agree. Can you kazoo Infant Stranger? Wait. I see. I can't fucking do it. Right, fuck. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll tell you this though. Lullaby is like wait. Stalkers from the roof. I'll never cry. I'll never cry. A lullaby. Doom, 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 doom. Sparkle from your real, some of the some of the. I wish I still had those on a lost computer. Curtis, glad I brought one of those books. Yeah, Jeremy, you do. Cool, man. Yeah, text me, man. The first song called Revenge of the Dead. Okay. What the fuck? What's Revenge of the Dead? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Jeremy, please text me. Cool, cool. I think one song was called Evil Dead. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Many were destroyed. Oh my God. Could you imagine somebody destroying that beautiful fucking book? Can we assume that Drive Me is about some chick riding Glenn like the human pony boy? Oh, JS, go look up the lyrics to Nike a Go-Go. So what I heard was live stuff from yes, I heard the live stuff from Eddie's. I heard way more than that. I've heard a lot. I've heard stuff. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, no, Eddie's is awesome, dude. Eddie's is fucking, it was great. It was great. I wish I could fucking do Infant Stranger better off the top of my fucking head. Well, smuggled from your real, I'll never cry, lullaby, doom, 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 doom. Well, I'm sorry, what demos Atomic Crypt video? I don't know what you mean. Cousin Jody says, excluding Drive Me and Feline Nursery, how many more songs you've heard? Well, I heard everything that was on whatchamacallit, on Eddie's, right? So I heard Infant Stranger, Drive Me, Lullaby, West End Avenue, fucking, what was it? Fucking Feline Nursery, and the rest of the track list of songs that you've all heard before. I heard a piano version of Last Caress. I heard the On the Waterfront song and the Wind song, and I heard CBGB's first show, and I heard the Changeling, and I heard, although some people would say it doesn't count as a Misfits song. What else did I hear? I'm trying to think what else. I mean, early version of Comeback. There are more. I think there are even more songs. There are even more, and I just don't even know what the names are. Swear to God. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure there are even more than that. They only played 7 songs at that first CBGB show. 11. Alan says, we're talking about those supposed Misfits demos. But what were they? Were they Jerry only Misfit demos? I never even heard about that. Drive Me is a song about a serial killer with an interest in hitchhikers. What? Danzig's original Misfit demos. The first song was called Revenge of the Dead. All right, Atomic Crypt video. I have never. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You gotta lay it all out there, baby, because I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Explain that. Explain that. Yes, Changeling. That's right. It's a cover by The Doors. The Doors original. These were new songs for the Reformed Misfits. Atomic Crypt video. You could be totally right, and I could be totally wrong. As far as I know, there were no fucking songs for the Reformed Misfits, unless are you talking about the Resurrected Misfits from '95, or are you talking about, maybe that's what you're talking about, actually, right? Is that what you mean? I want this all put out on a vinyl bootleg. Well, I'll tell you, I am certain that somebody is going to rip from YouTube Drive Me. It's going to totally happen, and they are going to press that the fuck up on a vinyl. It's going to happen, and that is going to be fucking super fucking ironic if that fucking happens. Super fucking ironic. CBGB's first show. Yes, they played their first show at CBGB's. Somebody bootlegged the vinyl, the famous 78 Christmas cake. I did not know that. No, it's just Danzig. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about, motherfucker? Like, what are you talking about? Atomic Crypt video. You need to explain yourself. But that they weren't real, were they? They weren't. What? You guys are. I think you're playing with me right now. I think you're totally playing with me. Is what? Damn, yo. All right. Can someone explain to me, like, Alan, can you please elaborate more on that? I can't believe the show is at 2 hours. I should have been in and out. Should have been in and out. We're in our final descent, actually. This is the final descent. Yeah, this was a fucking barn burner of an episode, huh? Just letting it all fucking out there. Just fucking letting it all loose, because fuck it, who cares? Shit. No, can someone explain before we go? Can someone please explain to me what the demos, the original Misfits demos? I don't understand. I understand that there were three fucking whatever rehearsal songs. Rehearsal songs I can understand. I don't understand anything else. I didn't understand anything else. I have to know what fucking Atomic Cryptic is talking about. The first show audio. Yeah, I want to know what Atomic Cryptic is talking about as well. I'd be curious. I was told by a friend of a member. I was told by a friend of a member of the Misfits that they were writing and recording new songs around the time of the first reunion shows, but they stopped. Not sure if any were fully recorded. All right. Like, I didn't fucking know that. I had no fucking clue. That's news to me. That's amazing if that's true. I can't imagine what they would have fucking sounded like. I find that kind of hard to believe. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is that like real? Is that actually true? All right. Chris says he's got some info, but he's on fucking Facebook. Damn you, Chris. All right, Chris, I'm going to allow you, the sole Facebook person, to share. I will share whatever you write for the YouTube people. This is the sole time, Chris. Damn it, Chris. No, tell us. Curtis says it was probably just Jerry. I think that's the Occam's razor. Cousin Jody says, I didn't know that. Dan, 50 now in 50 years we'll get them to right. Yeah, 100. It'll be 100 years later. Well, come on, give us a story time, Chris. Story time. I'm gonna light. No, I can't light another incense. It's 12:37. How could I light another incense? Come on. Give us the fucking goods, man. Give us the fucking goods. Wait, hold on. Atomic says I'll call in right now. Atomic, what would you call in about? Explain what you want to call in about. Because right now I'm doubting it too. Raimi, this is turning into the show is running away with us now. We've gone so far off time. Whatever, fuck it. When was the last time we did something like this? It's been a while, guys. It's been a while. It's nice. It's nice to do this every once in a while. So Glenn has gone as far as to say in an interview where he isn't interested in releasing any more Danzig material, but maybe a Misfits. Yes, Raimi, that I knew. That I've heard. Raimi says, "Damn it, light the incense. I just crawl." All right, fine. I am having a pretty good time right now. I feel a lot better. I don't know why. So I used to smoke cigarettes and many years ago, and I stopped. But sometimes I like to light incense in this basement, and then I hold my little fake cigarette, and I feel like I'm smoking again without actually smoking. It's one of those strange kind of, what do you call it? It's like a strange kind of hiccup thing, I guess. I don't fucking know. Raimi, I made you a mod on here, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. Dan says, this was told to me by my former boss in the music industry. He was told this by their manager. So is that John Caffiero? He heard that from John Caffiero, maybe? Alan says it was maybe 10 years ago. There was demos that were supposedly Glenn doing new Misfit songs. Well, that is goddamn fucking news to me. I never heard that. We had to wait 2 fucking hours into a broadcast to fucking find that out. I mean, that's just crazy. That's insane. There are 2 people in the comments who backed this up. Atomic, you're right. That is true. 2 people in the comments have backed this up. You got to drill a hole in the fake cigarette and put the incense through it to really simulate it. I'm doing this just for Mr. Loken here. I don't know if it's going to work. Let's see here. This feels really stupid. I'm not going to lie. This feels so dumb. Why did I listen to you? I mean, you're right. You're not wrong, but that's really stupid. I feel very dumb for trying this, but I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Don't you just wish we could have one of these every Friday night? We used to do this every fucking week. I would do one of these every fucking week. It's been years since we've done this. I saw, didn't believe it. Couldn't remember his name. John Caffiero. Man, I find that so crazy to believe. Chris said would rather talk in the DMs. Boo you, Chris. You think you're going to pull me off the stream, hold me hostage, and tell me some shit? You either tell us now or it's either all of us or none of us, man. That's how I feel about that. Raimi says, Doyle has been pushing new Misfits material shit since the reunion. Jerry said in interviews he was on board. Glenn said he'd be interested. I don't know what they're waiting for. They know it's a cash cow. Oh, I don't fucking know. What incense are your favorite? I don't know, man. This is the blue shit, the Nag Champa. You know the Nag Champa. It's like the classic blue stuff. I like it. I like the way it smells. You know what I like? I like it when I'm going down the stairs into the basement. When I'm going downstairs into the basement, I get hit with the smell of incense. That makes me feel good. I don't know. I like that. I like that a lot. Let the information to all of it leak, right? I mean, yeah, who fucking cares? We're going to leak Drive Me. Let's just fucking leak everything out. Let's just let all of it fucking hang out, right? I mean, it's just fucking stupid. He could have been lying to my boss to see if it would get out. I kept it quiet till now. They were doing business together at the time, and still. I mean, that's a strange kind of test to put someone through. I must say. I really must say. They could be nervous with how the fans react to the material. Gerbished incense? Gerbished? I really was. I'm going to be honest. I was expecting way more people to be fucking pissed at my opinion tonight. Like, I thought people were going to be legitimately upset that I felt the way that I felt. And obviously I feel the way that I feel because I got to hear all this shit a long time ago. But like, and I was like, I really I'll feel good if I just say what I feel and just leave it at that. At the end of the day, it's my opinion. Everybody can have an opinion on the internet. This is my opinion that I'm doing on my fucking channel, Dylan H. Remember the Blitz Kid Princeton show? Good times. Hope all is good, dude. Wait a minute. Wait, you were at that show? You were at the Blitz Kid Princeton show back in 2012? Don't worry, Sarah. It's available. You just gotta rewind the stream and you'll see it. You'll definitely see it. Johnny says, definitely a risk to tarnish a legacy, kind of like 2013 Black Flag. Yeah, I mean, that Black Flag record is pretty cringe, right? Like, that's what the Misfits risk if they did decide to record live music and it just didn't fucking work out. They would be really fucked. They would be fucked. In the end, you can't unring the bell. I'm just happy I got to hear the stuff I never heard before. Yeah, you know what? I'm happy you got to hear it too. I'm happy that you got to hear it too. What do you mean? What's my opinion? Particularly, what are you talking about? Jeremy Dean says Black Flag is the perfect comparison. It is, man. It is. Because like Ginn, he got Ron back, so to give himself some legitimacy. They recorded these songs. Nobody's thinking about those songs. Nobody fucking cares. And let me tell you something. There are some reunion records that really fucking work. Like, I think about the New York Dolls reunion record. I'm like, that fucking record, the first one particularly, that record really for me stands up, like it's possible. It's absolutely possible for that to happen, but it's got to be really fucking good, man. It's got to be really good. And for the Misfits, 77 to 83, it's a perfect corpse. They left a perfect fucking corpse. It's a legend. It's a myth, a perfect body of work. Why would they fucking disturb that? We already saw how people reacted to 95 Misfits and then compared it to the 8. They just risk so much to do it. In a way, it's better that they don't. Or if they're going to do anything, I like Curtis's idea, just fucking record the unreleased songs, re-record them. But without Doyle's chuggy guitar, it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't sound the same, man. It just wouldn't work. That wouldn't work, It would have to be as a 3-piece, or it'd have to be just piano, bass, but imagine Jerry's bass now, as opposed to him plucking the strings on the Rickenbacker back in 77. Dylan H says, 100% you did a cringe interview with me and pals. Well, hey man, how you doing? So you, Dylan H, we watched your cover of Drive Me. Thank you for covering it. I thought that was great. Good job. I'm sure I have your interview is somewhere in my archive somewhere. I have the vast archive of stuff, Raimi says, worried about backlash when the internet is toxic as all hell, even if it's the most perfect thing ever, will be shared upon with the unholy amount of diarrhea. Yeah, it's just not. They have a lot to lose, or it's a big risk. You just said you had to pay. This whole video is my opinion. I shared my opinion here in this video. And I have to tell you, sometimes, and maybe I'm like overly sensitive, sometimes I share my opinion on the internet, and I have had people fucking just get so pissed at me. Like I just was sharing my opinion. I'm not even talking about like fucking politics. I'm not talking about whether I think like, people should have their SNAP benefits taken away, which of course I think that's fucking atrocious and horrible. But you know what I'm saying? Like they act like I said some shit like that it was that offensive when it was really some opinion about like art. You know what I mean? Like, it's just bullshit. I heard there's a Doors tribute show audio, possibly video out there somewhere from around 77. Who knows, man? Who knows? Sabbath 98 live reunion album. How was that received? I don't know. And you were at Ghouls Night Out in Jersey in 2012. Oh, tell me, did you see any really drunk, inappropriate, outrageous, cannibalistic drummers wandering around like a wreck that night? That was a crazy night. A lot of crazy shit went down. Ghouls Night Out, Jersey, 2012. What the my black flag is unnecessarily long. What a fucking title too. What the? Like, what is Greg Ginn thinking when what the? And that weird fucking guy on the cover of the album art. You know that whatever actually, I don't know. Let's say whatever the Misfits put on their cover art would be fucking badass. But seeing some of their fucking art, well, no, if Jerry was in charge, I think it would be good. Isn't it funny how like Glenn had such a good visual sense back in the day? And now it's Jerry who really like does really good, interesting stuff. And Glenn's stuff is, sorry, Uncle Glenn. Curtis says, I don't want any new Misfits music unless it's the unreleased stuff re-recorded. Okay. You're very welcome. Raimi says, your thesis on a new song. We all complained how the band was not a band without those three parts. Glenn's wolf howl, Doyle's Frankenstein pumbling of a guitar, and Jerry's ear-shattering bass. For the kids. Loken says they should at least put out a live record. I'd be down for that. Yeah, they should. It's the Marty. It's the Marty says, I respect that people entrusted with these recordings have stayed true to their word by not sharing. As much as I would have loved to hear all of these recordings. Good perspective. I mean, that's what it's really all about. That's what it's all about. If you give somebody something and entrust it to them, you should fucking you better fucking pray that it's somebody who's not going to fucking share it with someone else. Because here's the thing, like, here's the honest truth. Like whoever leaked this, I don't think it was like, I don't necessarily know that it's not like just someone got it and then fucking leaked it. It was probably somebody entrusted it to someone else who then fucking shared it with other people, right? That's how that shit works. It wasn't that person. It was the fucking other people, right? That's what I imagine. That's how I think this fucking happened, personally. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter. Josh says maybe they could release new material under their names like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Yeah, maybe. The doc was on the loose. That's one way to put it. I don't know that the doc was on the loose. The doc was, oh man, fuck. Atomic Crypt video. There was a YouTube video uploaded years ago claiming Danzig and Jerry only meet for new Misfits recordings. Upon listening, you could tell it's just Glenn definitely has his guitar part in his voice. That's That's crazy. Yes. Jerry plays an industrial vacuum cleaner for the kids. Important cheese with an important statement says maybe Atomic is thinking of Danzig's cover of Devil's Angels. He did that about 10 years ago. Maybe. Maybe. I honestly believe it's going to happen. Someone's going to release a bootleg. It's going to happen. But just remember, when you buy that bootleg, when you buy that vinyl record, you're buying rips of fucking YouTube, compressed YouTube fucking MPEG 3s, right? That have then been fucking pressed to vinyl or to CD. That's what you're fucking buying. Like, straight the fuck up. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's just crazy. It's fucking late here, man. I gotta go. This was so much fun. This was fun. If anything, it's just an excuse to like get on here and do one of these old school live streams, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. Yes, somebody did. By the way, I got to tell you, the Coachella performance I didn't think it was that great, man. Like, the actual performance was not great. So it's so crazy that I was pressed to vinyl. People were fucking eating that shit up. I think that's fucking crazy. Thank you, Johnny. And thank you for your contributions and your civil discourse. Curtis says, important cheese. There was a demo of Devil's Angels way before Skeletons was released. Dylan H says, Glenn needs to put out an acoustic guitar in Doyle's hands and clean up Jerry's tone and bust out the Fender Rhodes if we get a new album. Could you imagine Doyle fucking playing an acoustic guitar? Like punching an acoustic guitar? That's what would happen. Doyle would just pick up an acoustic guitar and punch it. That's what he would be doing. That's what he would be fucking doing. Curtis says, awesome time. I haven't been on a live stream in a long time. Good to see you again. Thank you, Curtis. Yeah, I wish I had more of an excuse to do these. Like, I just don't. There's just not. I mean, because, here's the thing. If we do them too much, then just the same old shit all the time. When something new happens, it's interesting, and then there's something to talk about, and then it devolves into this, which is always fun. But, I don't think all the time. It just doesn't work. Dan says, the audio wasn't the greatest either. Riot Fest 2022 sounded amazing. Walk Among Us in its entirety. Yeah, that's cool. They did Walk Among Us Live. That's something that they should release, like a Walk Among Us Live record. Every once in a while, fucking Tank and I text back and forth, Jonathan Grimm, because I'm like, dude, when are we doing the next Grimm Tales? Which is that's like the uber long that's like the longest record we have for a show. Like, I'm dying to do another Grimm Tales. It's just it's a matter of putting 5 hours aside because I know it's going to turn into fucking 5 fucking hours. That's how it always works. I have both Coachella recordings saved in my phone, and I like rewatching them. Great stream. Thank you, Antonio. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you. Atomic says, going to see Rick Riley. Tell Rick I say hello. I haven't seen Rick in years. Tell Rick I say hello. Good to talk to you, Dylan. Thanks for covering the song, and thanks for popping in to the stream. Guys, listen, again, if you enjoy this shit or if you want more, check out the Patreon vault. There is so much shit in there. It's also on YouTube as well. If you don't want to become a Patreon member, you can become a YouTube member, though it's cheaper to become a Patreon member. Fucking do it. Mom says, I really do miss the live streams. This was fun. Mom, always. I keep trying to get my band to do a Misfits song, but no success. Someday you will. Don't worry. It's the Marty guy says. It's the Riot Fest Walk Among Us says. The only time they did Devil's Whorehouse outside. I don't know. I don't actually know that. Yeah, it's always fun. We'll find another excuse to do one of these long ones. I promise. All right. As always, how do we end it? We go peace. No, wait. Peace and hair grease. We will see it. Thank you, Dan, for the skulls. Thank you, everybody. Send me some skulls. Skulls on your wall. One last thing I have to tell you. This is so fucking funny. I driving my kids to school, right? My daughter and my son. My daughter is 6. My son is 10. We're listening to the Misfits. It's Halloween, or maybe it's October 30th. We're listening to the Misfits, and of course, fucking Skulls comes on. We're singing the song. We get to the line, and I look through the rearview mirror, and my daughter, her eyes widen, and she smiles, and she goes, but I'm too cute for that, or something like that. It was fucking adorable. Me and my son, we had such a fucking laugh. We had some really good talks in the car. We did a whole thing about, we spoke quite in depthly about Halloween, which whatever. You'll see. I got a thing coming. All right. I'm leaving. Bye. No, go. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up.